Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's a little different, one that really makes you think about the unexpected twists and turns life can take when you travel. This isn't just about a holiday gone wrong, it's about a journey into the heart of another culture and how quickly paradise can feel complicated. So imagine this. I first landed in Thailand, brimming with excitement. Beaches, temples, the vibrant energy of Bangkok. I thought it was going to be a whirlwind short visit, maybe a few weeks tops, but then I met Molly. And let me tell you, Molly had this smile, this incredible smile that just seemed to slow down the whole world, making everything feel softer, more peaceful. She was captivating, and pretty soon my short visit started to stretch a little longer. Molly invited me to her village. It was a place far from the bustling city, nestled deep in the green, rolling hills, where the air carried the scent of rain and fresh lemongrass. It sounded idyllic, right? And honestly, it was. Life there moved at a completely different pace. Chickens roamed free, their clucking a constant, gentle backdrop. Elders watched the world go by from their bamboo porches, their faces etched with stories. It felt like time itself had decided to take a long, slow breath. No one seemed to care much about the outside world, and at first I absolutely loved it. The simplicity, the genuine warmth of the people, the feeling of being truly disconnected from the usual rush. It was everything I thought I wanted. But then, after about a week, a subtle shift began. I started to notice something strange, a pattern emerging. Every time I'd casually mention needing to head back to the city or planning my departure, there was always a reason. Always. The minibus, essential for getting out of this remote valley, was suddenly not running today. Or, conveniently, the bridge on the main road was broken, and no one knew when it would be fixed. And my passport? I'd entrusted it to Molly, who had a safe place for it. But whenever I'd ask for it, it was never quite where I expected it to be, or she'd say she couldn't find it right then. It was a string of little things, easily dismissible on their own, but together they started to form a peculiar picture. Every time I'd bring up leaving, Molly would gently take my hand. Her eyes, usually so bright and full of life, would suddenly become a little distant, a little clouded. "Why go?" she'd whisper, her voice soft, almost pleading. "Everything you need is here. Me, food, home, you're safe here." On the surface, her words were kind, filled with care. But beneath that gentle reassurance, I started to feel something else stirring. Was it a warning? A desperate plea for me to stay? Or was it something more? Something like control, cleverly disguised as affection and concern? The line felt blurred, and my mind started racing, trying to decipher the true meaning. Days began to blur into weeks. My phone signal, once intermittent, now barely reached beyond the surrounding mountains, leaving me feeling even more isolated. And my money, the funds I'd brought for my short visit, began to run low. Molly's family, while always polite, always smiling, seemed to have an unusual interest in my movements. Their eyes followed me, subtly, constantly watching, making me feel like I was under an unspoken, gentle surveillance. It wasn't hostile, but it was definitely noticeable. It added to this growing sense of unease. The charm of the village, which had initially been so captivating, started to feel a bit like a gilded cage. Then came the night I decided I had to act. The rain was coming down in sheets, pounding against the roof of the small house, a fitting soundtrack to my rising anxiety. I packed my small bag quietly, trying to make as little noise as possible. My heart was thumping against my ribs, a nervous rhythm. This was it. I was going to make a run for it, rain or no rain. I stealthily made my way to the door, took a deep breath, and slowly, carefully, pushed it open. And there she was. Molly, standing in the dark, framed by the pouring rain outside, holding a small, flickering oil lamp. Her face was barely illuminated, but her eyes were piercing. "You can't go tonight," she said, her voice barely a whisper, yet it cut through the sound of the rain. "The forest spirits are angry. It will be very bad luck if you walk away now." In that moment, standing face to face with her, something in her voice, in her gaze, just made me freeze. It wasn't anger, not exactly. It was a complex mix of emotions. Was it fear that I was feeling? Or was it love, the lingering affection I still had for her? Or perhaps it was the crushing weight of both, battling inside me. I stood there, rooted to the spot, listening to the rain and the silence that followed her words. It was then, in that quiet, rain-soaked moment, that the true realization hit me. I wasn't just physically trapped by geography, or by the convenient breakdown of the minibus, or even by a broken bridge. I was trapped by something far more powerful, far more intricate. Emotion. The overwhelming guilt of potentially leaving someone who genuinely believed that love meant never letting go. The weight of her gentle pleas, the warmth she had shown me, the simplicity of the life we'd briefly shared, and in that same breath, as I looked out into the stormy night, towards the unseen road that promised escape, a strange and unsettling part of me wondered. Maybe she was right. Maybe everything I needed really was right here. It was a powerful, confusing, and incredibly human moment. What an incredible story, right? It really makes you think about how our perceptions of love, freedom, and belonging can be so different, especially across cultures. Have any of you ever experienced anything like this while traveling? A situation where you felt pulled between two worlds, or where a relationship took an unexpected turn? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspectives. If you enjoyed this story and found it thought-provoking, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more captivating narratives, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.